Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful Alpharetta. And folks, if you're looking for a better banking experience from a top 10 bank in the United States, yes, Renaissance is one of those banks. As measured in a recent survey by Forbes magazine, they finished in the top 10 of banks nationwide as measured by customer response, customer reaction to their services. So if you're looking for something more than that big bank experience, you know what I'm talking about, go to renaissancebank.com and find one of their local offices and give them a call. And I think you'll be glad you did. You'll be treated like a real human being. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Amber, Muhammad, and Deidre White, and they are both with Netchex. Amber, Deidre, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, John. Thank you.
Yeah, glad to have both of you. Let's talk a little bit about Netchex. How are you serving folks out there, Amber?
Yeah, so Netchex is a payroll and HR software company. We can manage all of your HR functions from hire all the way to retire, meaning that we have applicant tracking. We go all the way through to 401k and COBRA administration, full COBRA administration. So any needs that you have, and we do work with startup companies all the way up to companies that have thousands of employees.
Terrific. So give I guess maybe a little bit of the corporate history of Netchex. How long you've been around, and how you distinguish yourselves from other payroll providers. Lots of payroll providers out there, large and small.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. So it is a very competitive market. Netchex has been in business for 20 years. Our headquarters is located in Covington, Louisiana. And our founders actually started at ADP. And so they came over and decided to start their own company. They just thought that they could better serve the SMB space, the small to mid-sized business space, and give better customer service and a better overall customer experience. So our platform is native. We have built it ourselves. Our dev team is in-house. So any type of development issues or anything like that, we can move fast because it is our own software.
Is that what you mean by native?
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing about us is we are customer service centric. So we do have one of the best customer service platforms in the industry. We do not have a call center that is out of the United States. All of our service reps are here in the U.S. We have service reps all over the United States, and you generally will have a team of 5 reps that you get to know and that you work with on a regular basis. So it's not like you're on hold in a call center waiting for some random person to call. When you call in, when you're a Netchex customer, you're going to get the same one of 5 people that are going to answer your own phone number or respond back to you with your own email link.
Gotcha. So let's talk about your respective roles at Netchex. Amber?
Yeah, so I am the regional sales manager. That means that I am in charge of the region and I manage the account executives. Mm-hmm. My region are 6 states. So it's Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, DC, and Maryland. Mm-hmm. And we have reps that are represented locally in each of those markets. We have about 5 reps in Atlanta, 2 reps in South Carolina, 1 in North Carolina, and then 1 in the other respective states as well. So Netchex is in all 50 states, just so that everyone knows that. Mm-hmm. But my team particularly focuses on the Southeast region.
Gotcha. And
I'm an thank you. I'm an account executive, and I actually cover the northern Atlanta area. Alpharetta is one of the communities, mm-hmm. as well as Norcross, Buckhead, the Brookhaven area. And I've actually been in the office technology and providing software and hardware for all kind of businesses, small to large. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that does differentiate us from other payroll companies is that we really do have like those dedicated reps like myself that really go in to understand your business needs and, really helping that small business person not do payroll anymore. Right. So they can really take care of their core business. Mm-hmm. So I really work to, understand their business and then provide them with the software that is going to help them pay their employees.
Terrific. So, what do you find? I'm curious about the software that you developed internally. I mean, obviously, you've got ex-ADP folks. They're looking at ways they can make software better, right? Make the customer experience better, make it easier, I'm sure, for you in your back office than it might be at ADP. What are those differences? I mean, can you summarize some of that for us?
Yeah. So one of the big differences for us, we have a single source sign-on. So our software is cloud-based, so you can sign on from anywhere. And no matter where you are, if you have internet connection, you can get onto our platform. We also have a mobile app, which is a true app. So you can sign on, whether you're an employee or an administrator, you can use your mobile app. And so again, with the single source sign-on, all of our modules are on that one platform. So you're going to have the one sign-on. Whether you're just an employee that we're just onboarding, we start you with a certain view on that page so you can start doing some pre-onboarding. All of your tax docs, your W-4s, your I-9, all that stuff is automated so that it can just be ease of use for onboarding. There's no more paper, no more data entry that has to happen. And then again, because our platform is a single source sign-on, you can get to your applicant tracking module, your onboarding module, or your payroll module. You can do your benefit administration is straight in that same platform. Same thing with your 401k. And then we connect to just all of the insurance carriers. And then we have some 360 integration with 401k carriers. And so then from that point, we have performance management, we have learning management, we have great ways to engage your employees, because that's huge right now, to keep that employee engagement so that you can hold on to your valuable employees. A lot of folks are doing that by helping them with learning management and then making sure that they're on top of those performance managements as well. Performances that they have that they should be doing for their customers on their employees on a regular basis.
Sure.
And then again, all the way to when somebody is leaving the company, we have full COBRA administration. So it really is the full life cycle of your HR department.
And back office software may seem like that's under the hood kind of stuff that the client doesn't really have to worry about. But the truth of the matter is things change repeatedly, right? And these I'm not speaking of ADP specifically, but just big companies, I should say, have legacy software that, may or may not be great for today. Right. So having something that's flexible and new and the latest and greatest in terms of software architecture means something for the end client.
Absolutely. And, the biggest thing about us is we also, when we add on different modules and things that we feel are necessary in the industry, we're getting that directly from our customers. After each engagement with us on a customer service side, we send out surveys so that they can evaluate what's going on with us. And then we will also survey customers. We're out in the industry, so as salespeople, and when we're hearing things like, oh, we need, there's one module that we just created was fillable forms. And I know people are going to be like, what is fillable forms? But it's literally just, it's a document where you can actually create your own documents so that your employees can fill them out. So whether it's creating your own handbook, your driver policy, or whatever that is, we heard that our customers were like saying, hey, we need this form. Our dev team is in-house. we put it on the schedule, and it was created, and we were able to push it out to our customers. So that's the one thing that is really unique about us, is that we listen to the feedback that comes from our customers. And then if we can do something about it, which 9 times out of 10 we can, because it's our own software and it's in-house, we can make those changes or those improvements that are needed.
I'm curious, and Deidre, I'm going to turn to you on this. What's going on the ground with businesses and payroll problems, right?
Well,
I mean, what are the big payroll issues that businesses are confronting?
It's an overall operational experience that a lot of businesses are really experiencing. And I see it, every time I'm at the chamber, anytime I'm meeting with a current client or prospect, their biggest challenge is finding good talent and hiring them quickly and engaging them so they're excited to work there. I've heard, stories from, some colleagues that they go through the hiring process with a potential employee, and Monday morning comes and the person doesn't show up. So one of the things that was so excited about Netchex is that their onboarding process really engages that potential employee. Not only it's as Amber said, we've got a mobile app. It's software that makes it easy for people to fill out an application, put in, take a picture of their driver's license and upload it. Then our platform says, hey, we're excited to see you. You've got 10 days to start. This is what you do. So with that, we're able to connect with the Indeeds and the, career builders or even Craigslist, and connecting throughout the community to find these potential employees and bring them in and onboard them much more smoothly. And to Amber's point about the fillable forms, when you're working with a large company, like I've had experience with, their ability to pivot is very challenging. And in today's environment, after COVID, a lot of people working remotely, retaining people, they don't have the tools to do that and pivot real fast. But the beauty about Netchex is because we've got our own base software, we're able to create programs that fit the need right away. Like, we've just added the Net Perks, which is a program that allows a small business to provide their employees benefits like discounts on gas and travel and entertainment. So these are things that a larger company like organizations that Fortune 500 companies, they don't have the ability to pivot and do that right away. We do. And that's huge for a business with maybe 10 employees. That helps them retain them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. One thing, I think most business owners understand the need for a great payroll provider. But that really kind of came through in PPP, right? I mean, like you really had to have those records ready to go. If you wanted a PPP loan, you had to have records ready to go so you could meet deadlines, right?
Absolutely. And that was just an awakening for a lot of business owners that hadn't been keeping good records, didn't have the right documentation, or even, I had one client that's like, well, I just want to pay my people on with a 1099. And it's like, you know what? That's really not the best way for you to engage. May be good for them, but when it comes down to needing a business loan, getting the PPP, and even, the employee retention credit,
right,
you really need to be able to have documentation and records. And that's one of the benefits that partnering with Netchex, we're going to be able to take care of that. We've got in our system, we've got over 100 reports that the client has access to. With some of our competitors, you have to contact them, hope someone gets back to you, and then get that documentation when they get it to you. So these are some of the advantages of our platform, that we're able to really help businesses with their needs when times change, and then also pivot when there's a different environment for finding good talent.
One thing I read recently, and I don't remember the numbers, I wish I did, is that so many business owners think by issuing classifying their employees as 1099 contractors, they're saving a lot of money. They're really not saving much money relative to the cost of compliance if they get caught, because that's huge.
I'm so happy you brought that up. Like, it is like a pet peeve of mine. Like when I hear, and you know, we can't legally like advise people, you know, what they should be doing.
Sure.
But when I talk to a business owner, like, oh, I'm just going to pay $10.99, like the hairs stand up on the back of my neck, because I'm like, you are just going down a path that is just not right. It's not good for you. It's not good for your employees. Your employees are not paying taxes. Another thing to think about it, if you've got somebody that's been working for you and you're paying them $10.99, and what if you lay them off? Mm-hmm. They can't just go and get unemployment, because there is no unemployment insurance that you've been paying into for them. Then they have to jump through a lot of different hoops, and then you're opening yourself up to liability.
Yeah, it gets you on the radar screen, right? Of the regulators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you've got, I mean, and I just encourage people to find out what the laws are and follow them. Like if you are in question, call an attorney and ask for some help, or just Google what the laws are and follow them, because it is just better off for you to do the right thing at the very beginning of your business, and set your business up right so that you're doing the right things, instead of you think you have a great business, you've been doing this for 2 years, and then somebody comes in and audits you and you're fined and you can't afford the fines, and now you're out of business because of that. So definitely I'm happy that you brought that up, because I was going to bring that up because I bring it up all the time. I'm like, please stop doing that.
I think we just brought up a pet peeve of Amber and Deidre here. And the thing about it is, people don't realize how the cost of non-compliance and the penalties that are involved, and the extreme nature of the audits, because they'll go all the way back to your beginning, right? I mean, and audit you all the way back, and you're going to owe penalties all the way back, right?
Absolutely. And like I said, if you're just a startup company and you're, you know, just thinking you're getting your legs underneath you, you know, after a couple of years of going through, you know, pains and different things in your business, and then all of a sudden you're hit with a fee or an audit, or, you know, you get fined, you know, it could be devastating to some small businesses. Absolutely.
Folks, we're here chatting with Amber, Muhammad, and Deidre White, and they are with Netchex. So Netchex has a virtual learning opportunity coming up here. As we're recording this show here on October 3rd, 2022. You've got an event coming up October the 6th, which is just one of a series of events that you have to educate small business owners. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a NetConnect. We do it annually, and we also do them throughout the year. There are opportunities for business professionals, HR professionals to really meet with their peers and actually learn. We do different training modules.
Yeah, it's our virtual conference. So it's our annual virtual conference. And obviously we used to do this conference prior to COVID in person, but then, you know, COVID came along and we started doing them virtually, and it just took on a life of its own, and it's been super successful. So we do an annual one for the entire country on October the 6th. We have certain smaller regional ones that we will do throughout the year. But this is a great learning platform. Like Deidre said, it'll have your peers in there. There are, it's just like different booths that you would go to at any conference, except for they're virtual. And then the other great thing about them, there's a lot of pre-recorded information in there, but then there's also some speakers that if you join those different groups at different times, you can earn up to 5 SHRM credits. So anyone that, you know, toward the end of the year and you're trying to get those credits in to keep your your status, this is a great way for you to be able to grab those credits. And like you said, John, hopefully, you know, it's on October the 6th and we are recording this, but even if you don't hear this before October the 6th to join, to be able to try to take advantage of earning those credits, this is a conference that we do keep online, so you can join at any point in time and grab the learnings. And that's another great thing about Netchex is we have Netchex University. When you're a member of our customer base or our family, we call it.
Right.
We don't just bring you in and just, get you in and you're a customer and we're running your payroll or doing whatever. Like, we help to keep you compliant. We make sure that we have our Netchex University, so you can go in there and learn so much. Like, there's so much learning that we do, and we provide such great content for our customers as well. That is another thing that differentiates us out in the industry as well.
It's that always be learning modular.
Yeah.
That we always, that we present. And it's not just it is great for, of course, HR professionals, but as a small business owner, that's not really their forte. But as a Netchex client, they get to go in, learn best practices, get tips. We're providing a lot of tips right now for people to keep their employees engaged so they're not, resigning. Mm-hmm. So they're always picking up tips that are going to help them ultimately run their business well. So we do payroll, but a lot more. Yeah,
that's terrific. So folks can go to a specific site and let's go ahead and give that out.
Yeah, they can. They'll be able to log on to info.netchex, netchex.com/netconnect, which is NETCONNECT-2022.
Got it. We'll have a link to this site in the show notes, folks. So if you're driving, don't do anything. You just check out the show notes later, and you'll find the link to this. Sounds like very valuable site. So thank you for that. And just again, regardless when you're listening to this, there's going to be content on there throughout the year.
Absolutely. They can always go to netchex.com.
Right.
And always find more information. We've got videos up there. And then I'm a local rep. They'll always be able to reach out to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So shifting gears back to the differentiator. So y'all were talking about the differentiator between the biggies, as it were, in terms of payroll providers. Let's talk about those that businesses out there that do their own payroll through accounting software. We won't mention any big names, but we know QB. We know who you are. So, let's talk about. Yeah, we know who you are. So let's talk about why Netchex versus, hey, I can do it myself.
I think the difference here is, you're still going to have to be involved with doing your payroll. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like you just turn it all over and it's like Netchex is handling everything. Mm-hmm. You're still going to have to be involved with your payroll. I think the difference between someone that's doing it in-house versus using us is the support, obviously. When you're dealing with the other person, who will remain nameless,
right?
There really isn't that support that's there from experts when you need them. All of our customer service staff is certified in. They have a certain customer service distinction. It's escaping me right now. I'm so sorry. I should have written it down and bought it. But they have that distinction. And so they are experts not only in payroll, they're also industry experts. So we also match you up with the team that works in that industry. So one of our big industries is hospitality and restaurants. So those folks that are on those teams will be experts, and they're dealing with hundreds of businesses that are hospitality, or hundreds of different restaurants. So they're uniquely qualified to be able to speak to you with some of the challenges that you may be dealing with in your industry. You're not going to get that from a service where you are kind of on an island all by yourself and having to try to figure those things out. Another service that we do have is we do have an HR support center, and we have 3 different levels of that center. So it goes all the way from you just logging on and going in and finding out things yourself, all the way up to having a dedicated HR professional that you can call at any time for anything. And with this service, they'll do an overall audit of your whole HR process, come back and tell you, make recommendations, and then this person is there for you for the lifetime that you're with Netchex if you decide to choose this service. So it goes beyond just you running payroll, because there are so many different things that come up. I mean, I've been in this space for a little while now, and I feel like I still learn things brand new every single day. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that tax law. It's just impossible to know everything.
Well, and it's even the best companies. It's hard to keep up with what's going on. The question is not being perfect 100% of the time, right? It's how you respond and deal with changes and mistakes. I mean, I know I've got a client in my other business. I've got a client of mine where, I get a, $43 refund from a state payroll or a state employment service. It's like, is this right? It's important to have somebody to talk to about that, right? Exactly. As opposed to be on your own.
Right. Exactly.
And it's most important in what you say, for a small business or a mid-sized business that's really operating with, a self-serve accounting system that has limitations. And in many cases, most businesses are on a path to grow, and they want to be able to utilize and spend their time on what their core business is, and not saying, okay, now I have to make sure I do payroll. Payroll is the most important thing because you want to pay your employees, but it's time consuming. And, in most cases, their time is much more valuable than having to do that. So what we end up doing is really taking that off of their plate, providing them with full support and the ability to take care of how they pay their employees. And one of the biggest things, and I had a client last week that I was presenting the platform to her, and they do work with another provider, and just the mere fact of how simple our system was, in addition to the cost, and in some ways like the cost of not doing it right, or investing minimal, which is, one of the benefits of our platform. It kind of gives businesses a monthly fee that they can just, line item operating expense, and it's off their plate and no headache. And that was a aha, like, really? I can run that many payrolls and just pay one fee a month. So that's huge and so helpful for businesses that are looking for, reducing some of those operating expenses. This is how we can do it.
Right. And we also file the quarterly tax returns for you, which are super important. Like I think people get into business and, like you said, I'm going to pay 1099. Well, there's quarterly taxes that business owners are supposed to file. And, we get, unfortunately, when people sign up with us, they're like, can you do our back? We can't do your back taxes. We can do we take the liability out from the day you sign forward. But that's a huge issue for a lot of people that do it in-house or run their own as well, trying to make sure that those are they have to sometimes hire another whole CPA to make sure that those are done because they can't do them themselves.
Sure, absolutely. Folks, we're chatting with Amber, Muhammad, and Deidre White, and they are with Netchex. Amber, Deidre, this has been great. I can't imagine there are some folks that wouldn't like to be in touch with you, given some of the great information you shared. Deidre, you want to give them the coordinates on how they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. They just give me a call. It's Deidre White, and my number is 678-641-7471.
Can't beat that. Goes directly to Deidre, right?
Absolutely.
I love
it. That's the beauty from the rep all the way to implementation, service, support. You're always going to get a live person that really understands your needs.
Terrific. Amber Muhammad and Deidre White, both with Netchex. Amber, Deidre, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us, John.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder. If you're looking for a unique way to build camaraderie in your team, go to A&S Culinary Concepts. That was not what you were expecting me to say necessarily, unless you heard the show before. Yes, they are an award-winning culinary studio, and they do corporate catering and all the things you would expect. But they also do corporate team building. I was there at an event last week, and it was fantastic. We had fun grilling steaks and making salads and roasted sweet potatoes and desserts. And it was just fabulous meal, all under the direction of Chef Andrew Traub. He's the owner of the business, and he and his team walked us through a tremendous night. It was a lot of fun. If you're looking for that kind of event with your team, and at the end you get to sit down and eat, that's the most important thing. I need to mention that. If you're looking for a unique corporate team building activity, I can't think of a better one. A&S Culinary Concepts, asculinaryconcepts.com is the website, or just give Andrew a call, 678-336-9196 to learn more. And folks, just a quick ask, if you will. North Fulton Business Radio is, we passed the 500 show mark and are booking strong. So we have gotten this far because of your support. And one of the ways you support us is by sharing the show. And we appreciate you doing that, because you help us help our great business leaders like Amber, like Deidre, who do great work. And we want their work to be celebrated and found and honored. So if you could help us help them and all our other guests by, when you find a show that you think would be great for someone else to hear, that they need to hear of that, from those business leaders about their work, we'd really appreciate you sharing the show. So for my guests, Amber Muhammad and Deidre White, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.